Welcome to Big Blend Radio with travel writer Linda Kissam, the food, wine, and shopping diva. Everybody, today we're going to be talking about fall deliciousness. It is fall, and that means we get into squash, we get to have spice, we get to have still sweet goodness. And Diva Linda is all about good taste. And so she's brought our friend Robert Schueller back on the show from Melissa's Specialty Produce. Go to melissas.com and go to blendradioandtv.com. You'll see a link actually also in the episode notes of Diva Linda's article about Melissa's Specialty Produce. But first off, Diva Linda, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm back in Tacoma on the boat. So I'm doing this through the boat. So hopefully you'll all be able to hear me the entire way. But I'm very excited to work again with Robert and talk about fall produce. Fall is the best time of the year, I think. As a former teacher, fall was always the most important time because that's when we first started classes. So I don't know, even after all these years, I'm still sort of in that mode. So anyway, I'm really happy. I got a wonderful sample box from Robert and Melissa's, and I'm going to share it with you today, and it'll be quite wonderful.
I'm excited about this because it looks like you got hatch chilies just in time, like this season, right? So, Robert, tell us a little bit about this. So, if we don't get the actual peppers, because I know that can sell out really quick, you've got treats in that box. So, welcome back.
Well, thank you for Lisa and Linda for having me back on the show. Glad to be here on a new season. We're just getting into the fall season. For many, like here in Southern California, where Melissa's is, though we distribute into all 50 states, it still feels like summer. We're just getting over a heat wave there. However, the seasons are consistent with Mother Nature, and so we have this abundance of fall produce. Now, you're talking about Hatch peppers from Hatch, New Mexico. The season is always August and September. It's a small 6 to 8 week season where you can go to some of the stores and buy cases of Hatch chilies and get them roasted. We're at the tail end of the roasting season. However, Melissa has this whole line of Hatch essentials. And these are items that use Hatch chilies within them. And two of the new items that I know you guys got samples are we have this whole line of Hatch powders, red and green, Hatch salsa. But the two newest items to this are we're doing now Hatch cashew nuts and Hatch trail mix. And that now extends our line to about just less than 24 different items that you can get during this time of the year, typically late July through about October, November, and then all the Hatch stuff disappears for the year, and then it'll come back into season next year.
So we better move on it, everyone.
I'll tell you this. I ate up all of the trail mix. I should have never done that. I sat down with it and it was really good and it just kept getting better. I swear to you, I went through at least half of it. And my husband found the cashews and that was over in a very, very short amount of time. So those two items are really good. They have some spice in it. It's not going to kill your palate or your tummy. It's just fine. It's just really, I don't know how you did it, but you balanced those tastes out really well without killing the tongue and so forth. So I like that a lot.
Well, that's the thing about the Hatch chilies. The Hatch chilies come in mild, medium, hot. And even at the hottest, it doesn't get hotter than like a Serrano. But in the Hatch essential products like the trail mix, we do a whole line of nuts like pecans, pistachios, and the newest are the cashews. We use the lighter variety on there so people can enjoy and not burn their mouth. And that is the key on the Hatch essentials. So everybody can enjoy it.
That's awesome.
That chili seasoning that you sent. Oh my goodness, that is a really wonderful addition to so many dishes that you want a little bit more spice in, but once again, you don't want to kill your palate. Now I'm from California, so I have a pretty strong palate. I can eat most anything. But I really like that powder as well. So that was a great cooking essential, as you say. And I look forward to using even more of that, really, especially in chili. Oh my gosh, that's really good.
Linda, I was going to ask you about that, and our box is still on its way. It's been following us from a hurricane, so you guys go. It's like, all right, send it to the next location. But um, would you say you would use this? Because when we talk about our warmer climates, and I know diehards up in even the Midwest will get out with their grill on Thanksgiving, even if it's snowing, right? So, would you use this seasoning as a rub on meats?
I
Okay,
would.
so
Go ahead. Go ahead,
I was
Rob.
going to say the chili, the newest chili seasoning is a chili and lime seasoning. It's a red,
Ooh.
so it's a little sweeter, but it's not particularly hot. Okay, so that particular seasoning is particularly used on fresh fruit like mangoes and
Mm,
pineapple and stuff like that. But yes, Lisa, you can use the chili lime seasoning on meats as well. But
mm,
first and foremost, we are a produce company, and so all of our produce is product friendly for specifically produce. But I don't see why you can't use it as a rub or as an extra seasoning in replace of
mm,
pepper and salt, which is traditional of what we like here in the United States, but implementing just a little bit of heat of that chili and the salt that's in there as well to make it
mm,
just taste just over the top. But I definitely put it on fruit. I love putting chili lime sauce on papayas,
mm-hmm.
mangoes, pineapples,
Ooh.
cucumbers, jicama. You could do it on fruits and vegetables.
And margarita glasses and martini glasses.
It's a
See?
Yes.
great, it's a really great spice. I think it's one that can sit right next to your salt and pepper and Lowry's. It's just really
Ooh.
it's a standalone and it's an add-in. So
Mm.
just sort of depending what you want to do, either with your fruits or your meats or your whatever. But I like it a lot.
I like this because when you're entertaining in fall, we all start having, gatherings and, it's football season, right? Is that what people are watching football now? Um, I don't know anything about sports, seriously. But with this, it to me, this is really great because you can have people over. Like I love like salsas that aren't overpowering. Like I like really spicy, but for people coming over when you have guests over, you never know what everyone's palate is like in regards to heat. So this sounds like a nice balance. Like you could make it. Ooh, now wait a minute. Now what about peaches with some spice that you could grill? I'm sorry, now I'm getting a little. Yeah, yeah. Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
putting spices on other fruits is not uncommon. Very popular in the Hispanic cuisine, but
Yeah.
definitely I've done it on peaches. I've done it on plums, nectarines. So and then charred it off on the grill there. I think a lot of people don't understand that you can grill a lot of fruits and stuff like that. And when you're grilling, a seasoning like that can wake the flavors up, not only
Mhm.
caramelize and char it, but also give it an extra flavor with the chili lime seasoning. So definitely, yes, do it, Linda.
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I want to make salsa from it now. I kind of feel like we could make our
Oh,
own salsa with some of these
yeah.
products,
Yeah.
using
You know what
by
would go
grilling
really
fruit.
well with it too is your salsa, your hatch chili salsa. I just discovered that last year. Oh, that is really,
Ooh.
really good. Really
Mm,
yummy. So I don't know. Got a whole
mm.
line there that is just great.
Tell us about the crepes. I'm all excited about that because we've talked about the crepes before, and then you've got the dressing, and you don't have to actually do all the hard work on crepes. So now you've got a new crepe snack to go, right?
Yes, and that those are in the box as well, and those are some of our most newest products there. So Melissa's has always done a crepe. It is a what you would consider a French pastry. It's just the flat round crepe, and they're separated by plastic sheets, and you just like pull them out, and you see them usually merchandised in the produce department right next to the berries because people love making crepes with strawberries, blueberries, even like kiwis, raspberries, blackberries. But we went a step further and created what we call crepe snacks,
Mm,
SNAX, and that's our line of products that are used with few ingredients, but are very tasty and handy to go. So the crepe snacks, they're ready to go out of the package. We have 4 flavors. So 4 of our most popular tropical fruit flavors: banana, pineapple, papaya, and mango. So if you like any of those tropical fruits rolled up in a crepe ready to go, they have been a popular now back to school snack to put in your kids' lunch boxes when they go to school. You'll find them, yes, in the produce department by the crepes where the berries are, or you'll find them by our clean snacks and cocoa snacks, which are the little granola products that you find in the produce department and the little coconut snacks you find in the produce. So this is our increasing line of snack products that are just grab and go, throw it in a lunchbox or put it in your bag lunch when you go to work or whatever. And it's just a little almost dessert-like flavor and product that you can enjoy anytime during the day.
Is this going to be part of your camping foods too, for camping and for road trippers?
Definitely. The crepe snacks, they're shelf stable. So you don't have to keep them in the refrigerator. You could simply just put it in your pocket, put it in your backpack. And yes, they are one of our camping essentials, which is a big promotion that we do every year during the spring to summer months. But the crepe snacks are available year round. You don't have to wait until next spring. We'll have them year round in your local produce department.
I like this for the road too, for road trips.
It's really wonderful for the boat, for our boat, because when we're out in the middle of Canadian waters trying to fish, there are no stores that carry a lot of stuff. They're just little baby mom and pop stores. So this is a great way to have a nice snack that doesn't take up a lot of room. It stores easily and it stacks easily. Anybody that has a boat will understand you don't have a lot of room for anything, including food. But you make room for this. This is really nice, and it's, as you said, it's shelf stable. It's really nice. I like it.
We need shelf stable. Yeah, and I think it also means that, Melissa's Produce needs to also expand into Canada now, because Diva Linda would like that.
I really would. You have no idea. You have really no idea. Well, Canada imports most of their fruits and vegetables. I mean, when you go into the store, it says that almost all the products are either from produce or from California, some are from South Africa, etc. But yeah, we could do a lot better with Melissa's. Just saying.
Oh, speaking of fruit, the pomegranates. Let's talk about pomegranates, because not only they're good for cocktails, they're great for salads. They add color, right? So when we look at, and I was thinking about this with the grapes, the pomegranates, fall is the jewel color season, right? So we kind of can eat the fall colors with these, delicious sweet jewels, but these jewels are really good for our bodies, right? So isn't that part of this, is eating something nutritious for us, right, Robert?
Definitely. Yeah, pomegranate is one of those fruits. Majority of it, actually, it's one of those crops that really comes out of California. California has been always known for their pomegranates there. And it's the little seeds, or what they call the arils, is the edible seeds that are inside. The skin, obviously, on a pomegranate's red, but actually the fruit itself, the seed and the pulp around the seed, is red. And it's entirely, once you get into the seed and extract them, you can go to melissas.com and it'll show you how to easily seed a pomegranate, because you don't eat the skin, or typically not the white pulp. It's kind of bitter. But there's an easy way to do it, where you can do it underwater, and the white pulp floats to the top and the seeds fall to the bottom. So there's an easy way to extract it, because one thing about pomegranates is when you cut into them, they squirt and you have white on, and once you have to wear your pomegranate shirt when you deal with pomegranates there. But the season just started in late August, early September, and will typically go, the domestic season will go all the way until February. Pomegranates are now pretty much available on a year-round basis because of the consumer demand on them. So we do import them in the off season as well. But the arils itself, I love to extract them and put them into like a fruit salad. People like to use desserts. You could do drinks with them. I mean, you go into the juice aisle of your local grocery department. Pomegranate is an essential drink because it's high antioxidants, vitamin A, vitamin C. It's all in there. It's super fruit.
Hmm. Now, Diva Linda, what do you do with pomegranates? What do you like?
Well, I'm from California originally, and so they were plentiful as I was growing up. A lot of people just had trees and all that, so we had a lot of it. And so I just like to eat the seeds. I think they're quite wonderful. And then of course, as I matured a bit, I like them in salads. Just like you said, they're just wonderful. The color, the crunch, it has a little bit of a crunch. And but as you say, you have to be very careful how you open these things and extract the seeds and stuff. So because they stain, actually, they're a beautiful stain, but it's a stain. And so just make sure you go to Melissa's to find out how to properly open it. How you
I'll put
distance
the link in
yourself.
there for everybody in the episode notes on this
Yeah, I
because
think
it's the,
so.
that's my
wonderful.
clothing is red wine, pomegranate, and red beets. That's how I get to, dye my clothes personally. That's the way to go. But I want to get to the grapes, but when do the beets come in? Because from what we're hearing, so many health benefits on the power of beets. And some of my friends who are in the food industry are like, they can't keep beets in stock as much. And I think it's because there's I've heard some medical reports that they've actually done studies on how some people have actually been able to get off of their blood pressure meds. Don't listen to me on the doctor stuff. You need to talk to your doctor. Get your blood pressure down first, right? And talk to your doctor. But beets, the power of beets on people's blood pressure, apparently is doing a lot of good stuff in the world. So have you seen that trend, Robert?
Yes, definitely. Actually, one of my 7 cookbooks that I've done with Melissa's is the 50 best plants on the planet, and beets and the beet greens. So if you find the beets with the greens on top, the greens are just as healthier as the beets itself. So they have a lot of nutritional information beyond vitamin A, vitamin C, potassium, and stuff. Even though beets are available year round, they're a little bit more difficult to find fresh. However, Melissa does a steamed beet in a package that's ready to go. Those are the easier ones to find. It's in the refrigerated sections, usually by some of the other root vegetables like radishes and whatnot. And Melissa does this whole line of steamed items ready to go. We do them with lentils, garbanzo beans, which are chickpeas, fava beans, and that's an easy way to get beets into your diet. People love beets. I mean, you can do beyond, just having them as a side dish. One of the popular things now to do with the steamed red beets is to put them in the smoothies because they're sweet for a vegetable. They add obviously a lot of red color, so be careful working with them, just like the pomegranates. It's just one of those stainers there. But you put it in your blender with some of your other favorite fruits, especially like citrus, even bananas and kiwi, and it makes a great juice or a smoothie.
Ah, there we go. I like this.
Alan loves them, and they come in. Melissa's has them in the golden beets
As
and
well.
in the red beets, and we use both. We alternate for salads.
That's that's what we use them for too. Salads.
Yeah, salads. So we put I mean, you can do a beet salad, or you can just add them into your regular leafy green salad, and they just add us just a little special something. It's sort of like when you put the pomegranates in there. It's just something special. But beets, I agree, beets are wonderful and necessary, and Melissa's makes it really easy. Those packages are fabulous, and they last a long time. So look for those.
Now, how are the grapes, Diva Linda?
Very sweet and lovely. I've noticed that maybe it's because I've been in Canada for a while, but some grapes, I don't know why, maybe Robert can tell us, the skin seems to be thicker than I remember before. And I don't particularly care for that. I prefer a thinner skin, but these are my point is these are lovely. They're Moscato, right? Moscato grapes. Is that
Correct.
correct? Yeah.
Melissa's is known for their Moscato grapes. We do them in red, green, and also black. We are just
Mm.
getting over the peak of the season of these table grapes that are coming out of the Central Valley in California, Delano to Fresno area there. If you're familiar with that area there, they grow
Mhm.
more grapes than anywhere else, table grapes than anywhere else in the United States. We are now getting into our late summer and fall varieties. As the heat continues to, we're still having heat waves here in California. It may make the skin a little bit thicker, but one thing's for sure, when you bite into these table grapes, they are super sweet. And one of the varieties that is known for this time of the year, because now we're in the fall season, are the autumn harvest Melissa's grapes at this time. They are a red skin variety, and they will be available. So our table grape season typically was mainly summer, but because of the consumer demand for increased volumes of domestic, we've had growers in the Central Valley of California grow a late season variety. So those grapes are just coming off. So the autumn harvest grapes are the ones that are now available. You might even see some of these other spectacular varieties like Moondrop, even Cotton Candy are still available. And these are super sweet varieties. The Moondrop are dark and they're actually long, not round, not oval, but actually long. And that's why they're called a Moondrop. And they're super sweet and delicious. The Cotton Candy grapes are probably one of the most known, sweetest varieties that taste like cotton candy. It's one of the
Wow.
varieties that Melissa's had introduced into the marketplace first back when about 8 years ago. We're getting to the tail end season of those, but you're going to see some spectacular fall grapes. And the good thing is that they're seedless. They do have a thinner skin, but one thing's consistent: they taste like summer sweet grapes, and that's why the grape season's so popular all the way through fall now. So look for them all the way until like November.
Mm, this is great. I like this because you want those little snacks, and I love them year round personally because even in the summer, if you're in a hot place, I put them in the freezer because then you've got like a nice frozen treat, and you can put it in your drinks and all that kind of stuff. And but grapes are like you can just grab them and eat if you're like you need those little munchies, and then you don't have to feel guilty. I think Melissa's does an amazing job on healthy snacks that taste good and you don't have to feel guilty. I don't want to feel guilty. I don't want that. I want to feel healthy and happy. So we've got all these amazing, fruits and everything, but let's talk about squash because you were talking about cotton candy. I'm in the pink squash. That is super exciting to have pink squash. But when does it come out? Because it's not quite there yet, right?
The season is just about to begin. You're talking about the pink pumpkins. Pumpkin
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a variety of squash, and it's not only ornamental for Halloween, but pumpkins are also edible as well. And the season is about to start. The season starts in late September, goes through all of October up until about Halloween. And we actually use it as a breast cancer awareness um, fundraiser. For every pink pumpkin that we sell, a percentage goes to fundraising for breast cancer research. That
Awesome.
seems to be the time every late September, early October is like breast cancer awareness month. You'll see a lot of the grocery store items with the pink bow on there. And so we've done that even in the produce department. And this will be like the 8th year we have these pink pumpkins. Yes, they are hard to find, but at the end of September, ask your local produce department if they're going to carry these pink pumpkins that you can either enjoy uh, edible as you would a regular squash, or just use it for Halloween. Many people like ornamental pumpkins for Halloween, and believe it or not, the skin is entirely pink.
Wow. Wow. I find that exciting, when you think about all these different ways of having things, and then you're actually getting into squash season, right? Winter squash starts in the fall, right? A little bit.
Correct. So throughout the year, there's usually 4 varieties that you can find on a year-round basis: the butternut, the acorn, the kabocha, and the spaghetti. However, now that we're in the fall season, we'll have over a dozen different varieties of squash because it's the peak of the season. Not only are they grown in the Central Valley in Fresno, California, but they're grown in Michigan. So this is United States is really big on all these different varieties of winter squash. Other varieties like delicata, sweet dumpling. My favorite is actually a newer variety, and my favorite was the butternut squash. However, there's a newer variety in the last few years that Melissa's introduced. It's much smaller. It's about almost single serving size, maybe about 1 to 2 people, and they're called honey nuts. The honey nut squash it's about half the size of a butternut and has a lot of similarities. One thing I like about squash are the sweeter ones, and I find that the butternut variety is very sweet. But if you like a super sweet variety, the honey nut, and it's so easy to work with. You cut it in half. You can either microwave it or bake it. Drizzle a little bit of honey on there. You don't have to use heavily. A lot of people like to use a lot of butter on squash. You don't need to. I like putting honey on top of my squash and enjoying it. It almost tastes like pumpkin pie. It's so delicious there. And yeah, so we're getting into the fall season. It's a whole new variety of hearty fruits and vegetables, and squash is just one of them.
And the potatoes, right, Diva Linda? We love the baby potatoes. Don't especially, with you traveling on a boat. I want the little ones as a traveler, right? That's just, I know we've got a little bit of a different lifestyle than most, but don't you find those, even just like for entertaining, they just look good. Don't peel them, just, and they clean really quick. I find them easy to make if you have, someone coming over for dinner, right?
Oh, they're wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful. They're easy to work with. Much easier actually than a regular russet potato. I like the gold ones in particular, but sometime during the season, I will go and buy a bag of the ones that are mixed up. So they're red and purple.
Love that.
That's a lovely taste when we fry them often, whole, not, we don't chop them up, and they taste just great, and I don't know, it's just easy to eat, I guess, and you don't need to, as Robert says, kill them with lots of stuff. Salt and pepper is pretty good on them, and you don't need to add sour cream and chives and butter and all that kind of stuff. They're buttery all in themselves. So, I really suggest that people get their cart in the supermarket, go slowly through the produce section, and look for the Melissa's items. And if you can't see them, ask your grocer, because sometimes they're there. You're just, sometimes they're just so much that you really can't see it. Once you recognize the logo, the Melissa's logo, you can
look for the carrot. Look for the golden carrot, everybody.
There you go. Then it's much easier to identify what you're doing. But it's always quality, and I think that's real important. Anything you get from Melissa's is quality, and if you don't know what to do with it, whatever it is, beets, pomegranates, persimmons, grapes, whatever, you can go to the Melissa's website, and there's tons of recipes that are sorted by the type of produce that you're looking at. So if you're wanting to figure out what to do with the golden potatoes, Dutch baby potatoes, you can just put that in the search bar. Even it's so easy, and up it comes, and then underneath are all the recipes. And the website is such a wonderful source. And if you forget, what do you do with, how do you get into a pomegranate without squirt all over you or whatever, all that information is there. I don't know who put your website together, but I know it's updated all the time. It's not a static one. It's all the time. And of course, just to tell you that if you want to give something different for Christmas, you really ought to look at I'm sure their Christmas packages, baskets, wine, all that stuff will be coming up pretty soon. And it's just all you have to do is click on it, and then they send it for you, and people just love it, love it, love it. So that's my suggestion.
I agree with you. Every time you go on there, there's something new. And now I'm thinking about these potatoes. Like I used, well, what I used to do is slice them in half, and roast them in a tinfoil packet. So I haven't done any roasting for a while. It's been warm, and I've been in warm climates. And so what I do though is I'll boil them a little bit and then make like a potato salad. But sometimes I even fry them up like you're saying. So I've kept it. But now we're getting to that season where I'm going to make those. I make hot pockets in the oven, and then, well, it goes quicker too. So if you're in the hot climate, you can do it. No mess either, because then I just I'm all about no mess, right? And so you could put in like portobello mushrooms and things like that in with the potatoes, and garlic. Oh, got to put the garlic. You just have to have the garlic. And especially in October, you all need garlic, man. You never know what's coming out of there, coming out of the shadows at this time. I'm just saying. But and it's good for you and healthy. Um, Before I forget, I want to hear about these chocolate persimmons. Linda, tell. Did you have chocolate and think it's healthy? Now it's healthy because it's a fruit. You got
Healthy and
chocolate fruit.
yeah, well, I don't know that it tastes like chocolate, but it looks like chocolate. Persimmons are one of those interesting fruits that you have to make sure they're ripe before you eat them. They taste better, they feel better, the mouth feel is better, and of course the ones that you just sent me were just they're just fabulous. And I didn't really understand persimmons. For me, they should be cold and ripe, and you cut them up and you serve them just like you would serve grapes or anything else. Put them in a bowl and let people pick them up in quarters. They're wonderful. And most people will say, "Oh, it's a peach or a nectarine." When they're ripe, a peach or a nectarine. And
oh wow, I've never done it right either. Then
I don't know if that's true. You can peel them or not peel them. Just depends on how much time you have, right? You can eat the out of one thing if you want or not, and just make sure they're ripe. But a persimmon can be so delicious. How many types of persimmons are there, right, Robert?
Well, there's actually two main varieties of persimmons. So I'm going to break it down. So the Hachia variety is the larger heart-shaped variety. And then there's the Fuyu variety, which looks like a flat, kind of more of a flat tomato. Now, the Hachias, you definitely want to make sure that they're soft and gushy, and that's how they're enjoyed. They kind of resemble, they have that fall flavor, kind of squashy, sweet. It's very different than another fruit. It doesn't taste like a peach or anything like that. They are orange in color, but the variety that just came into season first are the chocolate persimmon. They're not chocolatey in flavor, but when you cut them open, they're brownish chocolatey on the inside. That's in the Fuyu variety. So those are going to be a little bit more firm. And what I like to do with them is I like to cut them into slices, like apple slices, and they pair very well with a hard cheese. So if you like pairing cheese and fruit together, this is one of those fruits that seems to be popular on the charcuterie boards or fruit boards and platters that people love doing. Usually the season starts in September on persimmons, and it typically goes until the early winter time, January and February. The biggest domestic season, actually, believe it or not, comes out of California, grown in the Northern California and Central California, they are what I would consider a very much a fall fruit, and they're orange in color. And depending on you like soft and gushy versus more of a firmer texture on the Fuyu flat tomato varieties. There's two different main varieties there, depending on if you like a really ripe variety or a firmer variety that you can enjoy in slices. So it's really up to you. People like making smoothies, shakes, or even juicing it. This is a favorite fruit grown in people's backyards, especially throughout California there. Um, and
Hmm.
My favorite variety comes up in October. And write this one down. It's called the cinnamon persimmon. And
Oh,
it's the
yeah.
reason why it's called the cinnamon persimmon is not that it tastes like cinnamon, but when you cut it, it has little specks of brown, they're little brown sugar pockets. They look like, like you put cinnamon on top of fruit, but the flavors, hands down, that is my favorite variety. And again, that season will start up in early to mid October for that particular variety.
Wow. Wow. There's a lot of good stuff happening. And people are going to be eating good this fall if you go to Melissa's. And so, can people still order from your website if they cannot get their grocery store to get with get on the Melissa's train?
Definitely, definitely. If you can't find Melissa's produce in particular of any of the items that we're talking about, I first recommend talking to your produce manager because
Okay.
we're aligned with most stores across the country. So you just have to tell them that, I heard about pomegranates or persimmons or these Dutch potatoes, and they can order them for you. Yes, you can always go on to melissas.com and order it there. The only difference is you have to pay for shipping. So you're going to be paying more
Mm.
from our website because of the shipping. But like I said, the trick is talk to your produce manager and they will bring the products in for you of the many varieties that we're talking about right now.
And also, I mean, if you're going to order online, it could be a great gift as well. I think, when people moving into a new home, I think this is such a great welcome gift for someone moving into a new place. It's like, here's some fruit and vegetables. You can, put it in a bowl. It's kind of a nice way of doing something and you've got the gift baskets too, which are perfect. So very good. Very good. Are you hungry yet, Diva Linda?
Oh, absolutely. I still have
Me
a
too.
few items left. I've eaten through that box that you see behind you. I have a couple of snack packs left and one pomegranate and one persimmon, and that's it. So we went right
These
through
are good.
this thing. It's just so good. I mean, what can I say?
That's
I love anything from Melissa's. I haven't found anything that I didn't, and I just discovered their salsa last year, and that's really, really good as well. So
I
whatever
have
you
to say,
see.
every place we go, we always look for Melissa's. We go to grocery stores across the country, and I have almost all grocery cards, like grocery store club cards. I do. People look at it, it's like, no, there's not as many credit cards as there are grocery store cards. They're just, I don't know, it's become a new collection for me. But I go in and I look and I'm like, yes, because there is a difference. I have to just say this. I'm going back to those potatoes because they're a staple, right? No, I've tried others because if they weren't there, I'm like, okay, well, they look similar, but let me tell you, they're not. I'm just saying, I'm not being negative about anybody, but there is a quality difference. Do not be fooled. There is a major quality difference. So when you say your specialty, you truly are, but those are affordable. Your food is specialty, and I want to make sure people understand that it's affordable, especially with some of the staples, like the potatoes and things like that. People can do that. So good stuff. Always fun to have you on the show, Robert.
Well, thank you for having me here, and thank you for really talking up our Dutch potato line. But believe it or not, Linda and Lisa, the Dutch potatoes are our signature item at Melissa's. They come in yellow, which you refer to as gold. They come in red, and they come in blue, which is also they look kind of purplish there. But Linda
Yeah.
also mentioned about a mixture of them. That package is called Gemstone, and that is a
Yes.
mixture of all the different baby potatoes. Not only are they take shorter time to cook, but basically all you have to do is wash them up. There's no reason to skin them because the skin is entirely edible. And after you cook them, you really don't have to do much with them. You don't have to add a lot of cream and stuff. They're not super starchy. And they just make a great side dish to anything that you're cooking with
With
any
garlic.
day of the week. Yes, and with garlic, of course.
Yeah, I find that when I have a dinner party and I serve them, some of the people who wouldn't tackle a big baked potato or a half a baked potato will take one or two of these, and then of course the next thing I know they've taken 5 or 6 of them. But
you want to have at least 2 of each color.
yeah, it's good portion control. I will say that for those of you that are watching your weight, you don't have to cook a lot of them. You can cook 3, 4 at a time, 10 at a time, whatever you want to do. It's and for those guests that just don't want big food, it's really good for them to try something small like this. They usually run right down to the store and then become lovingly curious about all the stuff that you have. Especially these potatoes are quite wonderful.
They make really good like breakfast hash.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say I've done some amazing things with bacon and these potatoes and other things that have just been, oh, let's put that in there and see what happens. I want to know, do you do garlics at Melissa's?
Yes, we don't. We not only do traditional garlic and colossal garlic. We're the company that started doing the peeled garlic over 15 years ago. So you can actually find peeled garlic that are individually wrapped in like a cryovac, and we make it easier. And then we also do jarred garlic as well, and elephant garlic and black garlic. So
Ooh.
we're kind of we're really known for our garlic as we are for our potatoes and onions. And garlic is one of the most essential ingredients in almost every cuisine across the world. Majority of our garlic actually comes out of California. It's another one of those crops, from Gilroy, California. Is the largest grove of garlic for all of the United States there. If you cook and you love to cook, garlic is probably on the top of your list, unless, of course, you're allergic to it.
And you also do turmeric and the ginger root, and this is that season for soups. Use that in soups, the ginger and the turmeric. You want fall color. I mean, turmeric is it. And if you add it to stews, soups, I mean, it is, and it's so good for us too, right? So that's the thing, is about all of these products we're talking about, good for us and healthy. I'm hungry now, and I'd like some potatoes and garlic. And by the way, it makes really good potato salad, those potatoes, and it makes making it quicker and easier. And I've done it in different ways. And I'm a big fan. So everyone, melissas.com. Also, that link is in the episode notes, as well as Diva Linda's article. When she sent it in, I'm like, okay, I'm hungry, and I'm still hungry. Now it's worse. So thank you both. And of course, keep up with Diva Linda at allingoodtaste.info. Thank you all so much. Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio with travel writer Linda Kissam. Keep up with Linda at allingoodtaste.info. You can read her articles in Big Blend magazines and keep up with us at bigblendradio.com.